Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a long time. Um, as you can see on the title of the video, I'm going to explain the different specs per person for people. When choosing a spec, it depends on the type of person you are and what you plan to use the machine for. For example, it can be both business use, business work, or personal use. So when you are looking at personal use, let's say for example you want to use it for personal to run normal admin like spreadsheets and daily normal general user stuff. I would suggest you get a machine that has got at least 16 gig RAM and it's an i5 Intel core like a normal Windows machine, and the SSD is at least above 200 and something. And also, that is if you are a normal person who's like, their business is a business of an internet cafe, a car wash, or something that has to do with admin, just a normal Windows laptop. If your business is like some serious dev or a graphic designer, for someone who deals with designing and graphics, buy yourself a Mac with an M4 chip. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the RAM must be 16 gig. If you're a dev, also get yourself a Mac, but you can also get yourself a Windows machine, but not really a Windows machine. That machine must be with Linux installed, preferably Linux Ubuntu. It must be an i5 32 gig machine if you are a dev on the side. But also let's focus more on careers. Okay, let's look at personal use. If you're a forex trader and you're looking for a desktop machine, you must get like at least a Dell. I would prefer a Dell. Other machines are also good, but I don't know, I have a thing for Dell. A Dell desktop, Optiplex, normal machine, 5000 whatever, i5, 16 gig RAM, SSD doesn't matter. So what I mean by that, let me quickly explain. And also I'm going to quickly show you. As you can see here, for future i5 16 gigabyte RAM, and it must be like, I would say 237 gigabyte. Oh lord, maybe I'll say RAM, latest generation, probably 11 gen, and then 237 gigabyte SSD. Oh my god. So this is for someone who's a general user, right? A general user. Now we explained personal, like this is for someone who runs admin or who runs admin, right? This is also for students. Students, I'm looking at I would say um commerce, because commerce in terms of admins and what these guys are running, it's almost like the same thing. General students like arts and all these things, all these guys, even engineers can, even the eng students, basically any students except for even the students doing IT or computer science. But if you're a student doing graphic design and something that's data intensive or actuarial science, this is not for you. Because in your career, when you are doing actuarial science, you need a high-end machine. I'll explain that later. 5, right? I forgot how many cores it has, but trust me, you need it 5 at best. Don't go for i7, i5. Cost effective, works decent. It must be a U series. There's U series, which means it's for a standard individual. I don't want to go too deep into that. 16 gig RAM. It can run applications, access files and information at a fair amount of speed. It mustn't be old, must be 11th gen. SSD, why SSD and not HHD? Because when you are storing files, you are going to store files much quicker, large files quicker on an SSD than if you were to do it on an HDD. Oh, SSD, or is it? Yeah, SSD then. So HDD is like becoming, or it is obsolete. It's good for large files, but nowadays we're moving into cloud and we do store some big files in SSD, but not that much. So it's not a train smash. But in SSD, it's much quicker to store files. It's much quicker to store large data and files compared to HDD. This is a good type of spec machine. I'd prefer Dell or HP, but sometimes HP has issues, especially with the Wi-Fi card. I've had experience with HP. They've got, I would say, hardware issues. Dell is good, but sometimes they can also have their own hardware issues. I won't go into deep into that, but I'd prefer Dell, brand new Dell. So yeah. But yeah, you can go for any other type of machine. It's up to you. You are the individual at the end of the day. So I'm going to quickly break down something, right? This is very important for my viewers, right? Okay, green is good. As students, right? i5 is for commerce courses. i7 is for like graphic. No, I'm relying here. It's for like actuary. M4 MacBook should be for graphic design students. This is what I prefer for students. Even career-wise, when I distribute machines in my job, I make sure actuaries get this. And then the people who are accountants or who are doing admin work, literally just all they do is Microsoft Office, is this. If you're a graphic designer, you are getting this. If you are a dev, we can make an exception. You're a dev is not gonna get an i7. A dev is gonna get this one, i5. But this i5 must not be 16 gig. It must be 32 gig. I would say 32 gig. 32 gig. 32 gig. P series. Performs really well. Battery is still great. Not H series, because H series battery is it drains quick, but performance is excellent. And you must be someone who's a Linux user. So, for example, if I was to specify things a bit more further, I would have said job roles, manager or admin, they get i5 16 gigabyte U series. Well, i5 i5 U series, 16 gigabyte RAM. The SSD is not necessary because most of us are working on the cloud. But if you are a dev, right? What do devs get? Devs get i5. i5 P series, 32 gig RAM, Linux, Ubuntu, or sometimes even a Mac. That's how I would define it. An actuary, if I was to put an actuary, they can work with an i7 that is H or P series. I would say P series just to be safe. And they should use at least 16 gig is decent for them. Yeah. Even data scientist is a bit tricky. I would say a Mac or an i7. Yeah. So yeah, that's how we'll define. Cheers.